you'll want to do a quick kind of workshop on how I sell puts to start the wheel, and then also how I can sell covered calls and how you can wheel the same underlying, which could be a stock or ETF. In my case, I'm mainly wheeling stocks because I can't afford massive ETFs, but how you can use the same underlying instrument to sell puts and calls at the same time. So I'm going to show my favorite right now, especially for a smaller account. And in fact, let's use my Roth IRA. So this is a small account. I just transferred it in not too long ago. Whenever this was, June. So just transferred it in. Started out whatever that was, and it's come up. Okay, so what I wanted to do is show you my favorite. I don't necessarily recommend these, but these are the best options I've found for this small account to roll. And then I like to invest in JEPQ and Ulti. And what I'm doing is I'm using these to produce weekly profits that I then reinvest into Ulti and JEPQ. I'm planning to get out of this so that I can use that to use that capital on these sorts of underlying. So I really like this underlying instrument. I guess my Wi-Fi really sucks here. Turn off the Wi-Fi there. So we're going to look at MSTU or Mist University. It's based on MicroStrategy, and it's awesome. So why is it awesome? Because it's leveraged 2x. It is inherently always going to have a lot of volatility, which is great for option sellers. So today is the 17th, I believe. Tomorrow is the 18th, so there's really not much there. But even then, you can still squeeze out some juice, right? But what you're really looking for is 1 week out. Now, this is the way I do it. This is aggressive. This is the aggressive wheel strategy. I look for underlyings that have weekly expirations or more so that I can sell premiums more often. It's more fun and it's awesome, but also it gives you flexibility. Let's say, all right, I don't want to deal with this right now. I want to do a longer expiration. Well, you can. You can go farther out and you'll get a little bit less, but you'll still get, in this case, much more than 3%. Right? So 1% is about $8.8. We could just say $9, and we're getting over 100. So 10% is $88.50. Max profit here is more than $88. So this is more than 10% return on capital employed. So what I like to do, though, like I was saying, is try to do one every week. And sometimes what'll happen is I'll just take profit early because it'll become profitable so fast. So if you look at, again, $10 or $9, it's really $9.70 is 1% of the max loss. The max loss is what you pay to open this position. So I'm paying $970. 1% of that is 9.7. Let's round it up to $10 is about 1%. So the max profit is 3 times that, which is 3%. I'm looking to make about 3% per month. So if I'm making 3% per week, we're doing good. That's how I kind of have better and better positions, and how I can kind of outscore that 3% a month just with the wheel in general, and then we're also doing other strategies that make it even better. So that's why I love this underline. So what you would do is you would put this in, and I always look at the deltas because that basically just tells you how profitable something is or unprofitable. So, or how probable. So it's really the probabilities. So if we zoom in at this $10 put, you can see the chance of profit is 70%. And so 30 deltas is roughly 70% because I'm selling. So if I was buying, I would have a 30% chance of winning. But since I'm selling it to a buyer, then I have a 70% chance of winning. Now, you can do whatever you want because these are all kind of equalized as long as you understand what things mean. But all you really need to know is delta for these, and then what to do when you manage it. So let's say we did this trade and all that. So we'll look at how you manage this one that I already have, which is this $10 put. All right, let's go out here. So when I open this put, you can see that it's already up 52%. That's a total return line. When I opened it, I sold it for $17. So that average credit is 0.17. That's $17. Because options are always 100% or 100 shares. So if we look at the simulated returns, part of the beauty of selling things so short term, especially when you're getting 70% probabilities, give or take, I like to go between 60 and 70%. If you're getting a really good price, you could even take less risk. But again, it's all relative to wanting to make 3%. Again, that's 3% per month, so it's no problem if you take 1% profit if you're getting really good probabilities. But you can see tomorrow, or this is tonight, the 17th. So tomorrow morning, the time decay will have already happened. By the time the market opens, I mean, I should be at plus $16, which is like 90%, more than 90%, right? Because I'm only looking to make $17. So it's not a ton of money, but you see, like, another cool thing is you can easily scale this. So, general rule is for each position, you want to use about 1% or 2% of your portfolio. So with my account being 28,000, you take off 2 zeros, that's $280. That's 1%. So this is more than that. Especially the rules are a little different on the Roth on the wheel. So that's the general consensus if you're trading in a way that you could lose everything. But since in these underlyings, if I lose, I end up owning shares. So I don't actually lose everything. I just lose a little bit of value. But theoretically, and I have an example of this, you could lose value in the short term in like a day or two, and then after 2 or 3 days, suddenly it's actually the opposite is true. And so that is my experience with Net Power. Not on the Roth, but on the on my real account. Right, so if we go to NPWR, really good wheel stock right now because it has a lot of volatility and it's just kind of chopping up and down, which means if I get so basically, if I sell a put at 250 or whatever, and I get assigned, and then I sell a covered call above 250, and I get assigned, then I basically just keep making money, and that's what's happening. So, like my cost basis, average cost here on the left is $2.30, which is a lot lower than the current price. And so if I get assigned on my covered calls, which are these guys, it's already at $2.50, see, which is above the $2.30. The $2.30, what I bought it for, that's $20 profit on 2 of them. So that's 40. Is it 20? Yeah. Yeah, $2.30, so $20. And then I also got paid for these positions $20. So it's $80. So I'm getting paid $80 to sell these at a higher price than I bought them. So that's why it's a great stock for the wheel right now. And it's super cheap. So you can get in pretty easily as well. The only issue here, as you can see, is it's not weekly, it's monthly. But it's not as established as some of these other underlines. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. That's kind of how I'm using the aggressive wheel. You can just sell puts, and you're looking at the delta again to be roughly 30, negative 30. So you could sell this put, and when I did it for the other one that I showed this position, it's already profitable after just a few days. And tomorrow, when the market opens, it will be almost 100%. How we manage that is then you roll it. So then I'll roll it to next week, and maybe I'll go down a little bit, and I'll still make credit. Or maybe I'll go up to 10, or I'll stay at 10, and I'll make even more credit. So rolling is so much fun. It can also save you from a bad position. So I'm basically making more instructionals. I'm tracking my progress. This is just one piece of the 3-part system that I have used to go from, $2,000 all the way up now to $28,000, and just a few months ago, I was a lot less, and I just transferred in my other account. So that's why, historically, if you look at my YouTube, I was a lot lower than that. I was like a 15,000, right? Because I transferred 10,000 in. So I kind of improved my kind of snowball effect now that everything is together. So anyway, I'm learning a lot. I know what works. I know what doesn't. Pretty much nothing works except a few things like classical investing, fundamental investing, dividend investing, which is what I do, and then the wheel strategy, which bleeds into investing pretty easily. So yeah, hope you all have a great day. Peace be with you and your family. Ciao.